Hey, folks, welcome back to another episode of Finding Data Friends. We're lucky enough to have found a new data friend for the podcast, which is good because without that, this podcast would be rubbish and it would just be me and Ben. Nobody wants that. So, Marisol,
Whoa, whoa,
welcome
whoa,
to
whoa,
the.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you saying a podcast showing only us would be rubbish? Is that what you said?
I didn't say that. You read between the lines. I'm saying we're lucky
I
enough
did
to
the
have a
exact
guest.
opposite of reading between the lines. I was quoting you verbatim, but anyway,
Shh. We'll cut that out in the post production, right?
we don't have budget for post production. It's going to be
Okay,
on the
we'll
internet
just
forever.
carry on. Anyway, stop distracting me. Marisol, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the podcast. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about you? What do you get up to?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thanks for having me here. My name is Marisol. I'm a data consultant, and I have been working with data for now about 8 years. And since January, I am a freelancer. Yeah.
Cool.
And in the last month, I have been mainly working with Fabric and doing a lot of DevOps.
Very cool. Perfect. So our first question on the podcast might be hard to answer if you're changing directions or what you're doing. But what's your favorite data thing?
Currently, I'm a lot into lake houses. I come from like the SQL world, and now I have discovered lake houses and Python. So I'm really into it right now, and still continue to learn a lot. Yeah, but in the past, it was like something really like I don't know, like really far away for me. And now I'm like discovered. Oh, sometimes it's so easy to write a function in Python in like 2 lines, and SQL it's like 20. So I really like it right
Nice.
now.
Very cool. Yeah, it's all about finding the right tool for the job, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is always VB6, by the way, but that's just a side comment. Well, first of all, I have to say congrats on giving a very specific answer.
Agreed.
Thank you for not saying my favorite data thing is data.
That would be very precise.
You would think that data people are very precise people, but some of them are really not.
They
really
like to
not.
bend the rules.
Exactly. Or I can't pick one. Can I have 17?
Or they pick one and then they're like, ooh, but I also like this and this and this. But like, okay, so that's 5.
And because we don't have budget for post-production, it's all going to be on the internet forever. So we really need more budget, Jess.
I think people know that, and so now they just sneak them in, you know?
So again, thank you for not doing that. You're really saving the format of this show. It's, I think, very worthy of being saved. I can kind of relate to the answer and at the same time not, because I agree that sometimes it's almost magical what you can do in notebooks and everything. And at the same time, I'm a SQL person at heart. It probably will always be. So I would just rewrite my code so it does fit into 2 lines, even though it's not very pretty. It's going to be very wide.
That's also an option.
See, there we go.
It's just like off the screen. Perfect.
The big issue I have with it, that in many cases the code is so much slimmer, but you get so much overhead from the Spark and everything that it is so much easier to read and so much easier to write, and it's going to take so much longer to execute. Because just today I was finishing up a paragraph on SQL DB in Fabric, and then it was specifically about comparing the analytics endpoint and the SQL DB endpoint. Well, if you're just querying a table, you can do that from both, with the difference being it will take milliseconds on one and potentially seconds or minute on the other, because it needs to bring up all that overhead that comes with it first. So all that beauty comes with a lot of overhead and burden. Let's put it that way. That sounds like a great session title, by the way, The Burden of the Lake House. Sorry, Microsoft, if you're listening. I didn't mean it.
Should apologize to our guest too, since she shared her favorite thing and you just torn it apart.
Yeah, well, it can still be her favorite. It's not like I said I can kind of relate to it. So, I mean, but still, if I offended you in any way by saying that, Marisol, please accept my sincere and deep apologies.
I do.
Perfect.
I mean,
we haven't had an episode yet where you've annoyed one of our guests so much that they've just hung up and left. So
I mean, we did have 2 sessions with technical difficulties, and up to this day, we
Oh, you
believe
think
it was hotel Wi-Fi. It might also
Oh
just
no,
have been
my
someone
Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, that's a classical excuse.
driving in a tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. We should investigate that maybe. Although I think both those people did come back for second attempts at the episode, so
That is true. So
how much
chances
chocolate did
are
you send them?
all of it. All the chocolate.
Good. Good.
The question is, what kind of chocolate was it?
Mm.
Was it Norwegian chocolate, Swiss chocolate, Belgian chocolate? Because, spoiler, we talked about this in one of the previous episodes. I'm doing this thing at FabFab, where I used the community builder data set on favorite snacks. And people also had to provide the answer to where their favorite chocolate is coming from.
I took part in the survey, yeah.
I really don't want to spoil the results too much, but
Tell us.
there's a huge overlap in people that think Norwegian chocolate is the best and that are actually from Norway.
Surprise, surprise.
So nobody saw that coming, but as a matter of fact, it's a fact. The data doesn't lie.
Yeah. We're getting some insights from the data. Did you get those insights with Python or SQL?
So far, Excel.
Oh, even better. VB6. I see where you're going.
See, even easier than VB6, because since I was using a Microsoft form, it spits out an Excel with all the rows in it. So all I did was, okay, how many do we have that said Norwegian is the best? How many did we have of those that are not showing Norway as where they're from?
None.
Well, it's not none.
Okay.
But it's few.
And did those people come from Norway and now live somewhere else? Do we have that data?
That's the other thing. What about people like Vitalia, for example, that now live in Norway but are originally from another country?
True.
We don't know. I should have asked that as well, but then it would have gotten a very, very long survey. And it was kind of confusing people anyway by giving the countries a random order. The OCD was not happy about that, but
I can relate to that.
It's what I do. Well, I didn't have to fill the survey in, so it was when I filled it in, it only had Germany as an option, so that made it much easier for me. And I added all the others. Anyways, before we digress and before I keep digging a deeper and deeper rabbit hole here, and before I'm giving too much away for these amazing 2 teams that will be
like and subscribe to get more.
Exactly. To get more Norwegian chocolate. Marisol, if you're not building lake houses and turning 20 lines of SQL code into 2 lines of Python code, what's your favorite non-data thing to do?
I love to travel. Yeah, I travel a lot. I used to travel more without having a child. By now it's a bit more difficult. But I love the Middle East, to be honest, a lot. I spent 1 year in Cyprus. I lived there.
Oh, nice.
I went to university, and I like the food there. It's just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times, and the food is amazing. The whole country is great, but the food's really good.
Yeah, exactly. And if I'm not traveling, I spend a lot of time in Legoland in Germany with my son. I'm a Lego fan, but I like more the amusement park, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Now you may have just snuck 2 in here. Now that you know how to bend the rules.
Yeah, well, we kind of gave that away. I've never been to the German Legoland. We took my daughter to the California Legoland last year, and for the most part, she had a blast. So the German one is also on the list. Also, since I've learned how cheap the German Legoland is compared to the US.
Oh yeah, I have a yearly pass, and it's awful cheap, honestly.
It's cheaper than a day pass at the California Legoland.
Yeah, I guess I'm sure about that.
And I'm slowly getting Gwenny to that point where she's actually enjoying building Lego with. So yesterday we built that. Funny story. I got that set years ago in 2020 when I was about to see the Nocentinos for MVP Summit. But then I couldn't make it to the US because the world shut down for some reason that I forgot. So I had that set sitting here forever with 3 robots, droids, whatever you want to call them. And one of them is R2-D2, and you build it, and then you can control it with an app on your iPad or iPhone or probably any other phone. She was not as helpful building it yesterday. She's the self-proclaimed best Lego piece finder in the world. Yesterday was more the best Lego piece hider in the world. It's like, it's impossible that 4 of these pieces are missing. And then she's like, look, I made it a 3. And I was like, yeah, perfect. I've been looking for those for like 15 minutes. And she had way more fun actually playing with the droid than building it. But we're getting there. So I'm getting back to building Legos as well. Yay, me.
It's fun. I love it.
How old is your kid, Marisol?
He's 3. So we just barely moved from like Lego Duplo to the more adult Legos. Yeah.
Yeah, I may have forced the more adult Legos on her a bit earlier because I was bored by the Duplos very quick. So
I get you. Yeah. And at the beginning, they rather destroy things than build. So that's what it was for us. Yeah. And at some point I was like, oh, it's kind of boring to play this because you destroy it after like a few seconds and it takes forever to build like a house.
Well, speaking of destroying things, because the other cool thing that I kind of want to get her to with these robots is that you can use that app to kind of program the robot. So you can basically build like a sequence and then make it go 1 meter to the front and then turn left and then go another meter, et cetera, et cetera. So I may have, you don't really write a program. It's just drag and drop. So I gave that a try while the robot was standing on the table. Smart move, very smart move. It was going backwards because it also was turned the wrong direction, so it fell down. So I had to rebuild it again. But then again, isn't building all of the fun?
That's true.
So, since you said you love to travel, which was your first answer before kind of sneaking Lego in, and then we had that rabbit hole we all went down. I have no idea how that happened. That never happened before, but well, there's a first for everything. And you said you love the food. You basically get, and as said in the beginning, there's going to be a perfect segue, and there it was. And you kind of gave it away and kind of not. But Marisol, what is your favorite food?
Like I said, I love food from the Middle East, but my favorite food is actually from Peru. It's called lomo saltado, and it's beef meat fried with soya sauce and vegetables and rice. And I love it because this is the food I grew up with. So yeah, every time I cook it, I feel like it's a bit of home.
I mean, I can relate to the beef part, but I can relate to the Peruvian part. I love a good ceviche, for example.
Oh, yes.
I'm always amazed on how close Peruvian kitchen and Japanese kitchen actually are, despite them being so far away. Like, I haven't seen or heard of that specific dish, mostly because it has beef in it, so don't care. But the fact that it has soy sauce in it is another one of these examples where, like, because you see all these restaurants popping up all over that do like a Peruvian, Japanese fusion kitchen, and at first it does work, but it took me a while to understand that they're actually very natively related. It's not that much
and actually
combining things that haven't been combined before.
Yes, and actually there were a lot of Japanese and Chinese immigrants in Latin America. So that's why also in Ecuador, you will find like Chinese, it's called like Chinese rice, but it's not from China. It's actually from Ecuador. It's just like cooked with typical Chinese ingredients.
Did not know that. You learn something new every day. There we go. All right. We are at time. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for chatting with us about lake houses and Legos and also good food. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Jess. And we see you all again next week with yet another friend. Bye.